Hey guys, what's going on? Wanted to come on for just a minute and talk about something. In the Idaho 4 case, I'm really trying to understand this video of a suspect video, right? It's something that's telling us more. We're learning more and more. We know now 4 or 5 different cameras caught this car. Did they catch him? I don't know. This video of a video, we know Xana's TikTok app was open. Was she filming a TikTok? Is a shadowy figure with bushy eyebrows seen on the TikTok? I don't know. We know that they did DM's phone and the other roommate's phone. They cell-brighted all their phones, all their devices, all their computers, everything. What does somebody have? Did somebody pull out their phone? Was she doing a TikTok app? And then when she heard something upstairs, she turned her camera on? I don't know. Did she not hear it because she was doing a TikTok and then somehow he walks in that room where Xana and Ethan were? I don't know. But it's really alarming to think about, because if that is to be true, right? That is, if it is to be true. I'm not saying it's true. I'm saying if it is to be true, then they're not going to give him a deal. And maybe that's why he's, throwing these more things around like autism and the other. But, I think that's the new attorney. He got that new attorney out of California. He fired the other one. Now he's got a DNA specialist guy, 10 years, specialist in DNA. You can't change the fact that it was upstairs in their room and had his DNA on it. You cannot change the fact of that. It was underneath one of the victims. And the vacuum cleaner and all these things, right? We're learning so much. I'm more of, I think maybe the vacuum cleaner, maybe he was struck with that vacuum cleaner. Somebody trying to defend themselves within that home. I don't think he would have brought a vacuum, but it is possible. I mean, he was a criminologist major, PhD major, whatever, but he wasn't on the science end of it. So I don't know why he would have taken a vacuum. But then again, who knows? This guy is a cross between BK and Ted Bundy and Charles Manson. I don't know. He's a weird individual, right? As far as if he really did have a vacuum cleaner. We know that a vacuum canister was emptied. We know that there was, I think, 8 strands of hair or 4 found within that vacuum container, that dust container. So was it? Maybe he was trying to vacuum up skin cells or whatever of his own there. I don't know, but you would have think someone would have heard the vacuum. Those things are not quiet. Especially the cordless ones. They're pretty loud, actually. I don't know. I just think that every turn, since they switch venues, right, which I said in the very beginning of all this, when they switch venues, that's the worst mistake they made. Because you never know what you're going to get. It's like, what is it? Life is like a box of chocolates, right? You never know what you're going to get, right? Isn't that Forrest Gump's logo or motto or whatever? So when them switching like that came back to haunt them, because now they have someone that's not going to mess around, that's more supporting the victims, and they're not saying he's not innocent until proven guilty, because he is, but he's looking at the victims' families as they've been waiting long enough, guys. This is drawn out long enough. This is heartbreaking tragedy of 4 college students that their life was cut so short. And what are the odds? I think the odds of children going to college is like 1 in 5 or something like that. So, golly, it's a heartbreaking story. And I understand we have to look at this as he's innocent until proven guilty. If he is the man, if he is the suspect, if he is the one We know the car was there, which his car only had one license plate at the time of the homicides. So trigger warning times 100 million. But so we have to look at that, right? His car is seen now, we know by 4 or 5 different cameras. Did they catch a glimpse of him? Is there a way that they overlaid or cleared a video and we're able to see him? Like something, right? Like, the chair is there, awaits, right? The chair awaits. The chair awaits justice, right? That's what I look at this video as. The chair awaits. It awaits the truth. And it's what's it going to be? I'm wondering right now. I'm really wondering right now, because the closer it gets, the harder it gets, right, for a deal. And to me, in my opinion, that's just my opinion. I'm not a lawyer. I'm not a judge. I'm not none of that. But to me is, if you want to make a deal, you try to do it early, right? We know he stood silent, so he never admitted to guilt, or he never said he was innocent. You can look at it both ways. He never said his innocence. He never said his guilt, right? Hold on just a second, guys. About that. That little radio was on in the garden, and I forget, and then as soon as the air conditioner had kicked off, I could hear it. I was like, oh, I better stop it. And I don't want to get struck, right? But, as I sit here and I think about this case, these 4 victims, what they must have gone through, I cannot imagine. I have children. Well, one of my daughters is that age. One is, of course, 5 years younger. But still, all in all, I have one in college right now. And I'm trying to understand motive. Because we always look for motive in a case. That's usually the reason for it, is the motive. And in this case, was he just so wrapped up in one of them because of that restaurant he went to, and then them not acknowledging them, and then, if it does come out to be, which, supposedly according to the father, Kaylee's dad, which I call him Superman, he had said that he had reached out to his daughter on several occasions on Facebook or something. I don't know, Twitter, Instagram, Snapchat, I don't know what it was. But that he had reached out and she had never, of course, responded. All that'll come out, I think, because I think now that I don't know if they're going to give him a deal. I really don't. I think he would take one if offered, or I think he would be working one, like trying to get one. But I think now that maybe maybe they came to the table with an offer and they were like, heck no. We have this, we have this, we have this. We have 5 videos. We have a video of the suspect. We don't need a deal. Because if you really stop and think, I know a lot of people think, oh, this case was, they made sure they followed the book on, I'm going to say 98% of this case, to me. I'm not going to say it was 100% because no case is 100%. But they did they utilized all their tools at their disposal, and they utilized the warrants and things that they needed to. But what we can't forget about is they're arguing the point of, hey, y'all shouldn't have been searching. They weren't searching for him. They were searching the DNA to figure out who it was. His name just happened to come up as a tip. Hey, run this tip down, right? That's what detectives do. Good old-fashioned detectives run tips down. If you get a name, okay, let's run it down. Well, they'd already known that when they found the car and ran the license, that he had bushy eyebrows, right? They had already done that. Well, we know that she could have evidently positively identified, but you can't. He had a ninja mask on. It was dark. Hell, who knows? He had a vacuum cleaner. There's no telling what was covering his face. But the thing that I feel, one of the main things in this that a lot of people aren't looking at, I don't, there might be, but since I did all the research on those shoes to try to figure out, those brand of those Nikes, those shoes that were found in his car, which were kind of like a Van style of shoe, but not a Van. And to learn that, which I knew from the beginning, that they weren't saying it was a Van shoe diamond print. They were saying it was similar. So then when I started searching those shoes and found that particular shoe that he had in his car that had a diamond pattern to it, that's when I was like, okay, we know that the footprint was left outside of DM's door. Or Dylan Morrison, whatever. I call her DM because that's what they do. But if that shoe print matches that shoe, that's huge. Right? We know they got fixtures. They know they can overlay that shoe over it like they do tire impressions and everything else, right? If that shoe is a perfect match to that shoe print, size-wise, everything. Because, every shoe wears different. You can step on a rock and take a chunk out of one of those diamonds and it could have possibly shown. I'm not saying that it did. It's kind of like a tire, right? Sometimes all car tires wear differently. So when they do an imprint of a tire and it matches that tire and can only be that one particular tire worn that way, they know, okay, bingo. So did this shoe print, which a lot of people have not talked about, but did this shoe print match that shoe, like to the T? That will be another solid piece. I mean, of course, the case for the weapon was, that was found on the bed was huge. That was really the biggest, to me, piece of the puzzle. And then, knowing that he had bought two, one wasn't accounted for, and maybe one was, because they did say they found one in a cease like that at his parents' home. So I'm wondering if that is a K-bar. I'm also wondering the coveralls, the receipts they found for the coveralls, and what was the marshal's receipts, or what was those two receipts? What was bought then? That was it all accounted for or not accounted for? We know they couldn't find the brand new coveralls. We know, okay, so where are they? Right? Do they have them now? I don't know. Do they have anything now? I don't know. But I know if he's to work a deal and they're not taking a deal, he better throw that in there if they haven't found the stuff already. Better be like, hey, I'll lead you to this right here, right now. Just give me a deal and don't put me in that chair. Because the chair waits, guys. It's awaiting. And, if he is proven guilty and he does face that, then, wow. I mean, I know it's only like 4 seconds or so, but still 4 seconds. It's not the 4 seconds. It's the thought of sitting in there being strapped down that's going to get any one person, right? I think the chair would make anybody beg for a deal. If you had any sense in your head at all. The autism thing, I think that's going to be out the window. I don't think that's going to, they've had all this time to prove that or to try to they're not buying their delaying tactics anymore. Sorry that they're not. Judge Hippler's not buying it. He's going to say, hey, y'all should have had records of this. He's 29 years old. If he would be diagnosed with autism, wouldn't it have been when he was arrested previously and went to those classes and all? Wouldn't they have learned that then? Right? Wouldn't they have learned that in his teenage years, from his troublesome teenage years with addiction? And they would have learned that then, right? You can't throw that out there now and expect them to say, oh yeah, we'll give you another year. No, that's not going to happen. It's not. I don't feel that it's going to happen. And I always thought he would take a deal. I did. I always thought he was going to be begging for a deal. I still feel that way, but I'm not saying they're going to accept his deal, because we don't know. But if we go back to that particular day, November 13th, 2022, Moscow, Idaho. Everybody was coming home later in the night, right? We know that they were at the grub truck. The other ones were at the Sigma Chi house, okay? We felt like he'd been stalking this home because of what they're saying, 12 or more different occasions that he's been pretty much connected to the Wi-Fi almost. In some cases has been. He was pretty close. I've always thought he had some kind of camera there, like a trail camera or something else that he was changing swapping batteries out every week or so, every 10 days. He was changed. I think he was literally spying on these people. We know he loves to put cameras, so he could have put cameras in the trees. Nobody would have known it was there. He could have been watching this house from home. We don't know. And that's what makes me wonder. I don't think he was, I think, Ethan, I think usually had to go back by like 4 in the morning. I think they said something, and don't quote me because I'm just going by what I've heard out there, but something about he had to be back at his fraternity by like 4 a.m. or something. So, maybe he thought, doing this right after 4 a.m., maybe he thought Ethan was gone. Right? Maybe he did take this vacuum. Maybe his plan was take them all out. I'll have plenty of time to do what I need to do before anybody knows anything. I'll be out of here. I'll have cleaned up well and nobody will, and that may be, but maybe that was part of his plan when he went upstairs, guys. We're not looking at that. Maybe he left that thing on that bed knowing he was going to come back upstairs, right? And clean up. And then that's when he, maybe something bad happened, and well, we know Ethan was there. We know Xana fought back. We know, bless her heart, these things happen. So I think more or less a lot of people are right. He got frightened. He got scared. He saw DM. He was too tired to do anything else. He realized he made some mistakes and he just ran out of there. He streaked out of there like a streak of lightning. And supposedly with no clothes on. So those 2 gloves that were found outside that back door, if it is to be true that there's 2 of them with blood evidence on them, I don't know. It's going to be contaminated because it was 4 people. But still, if they can prove any of that is his at all, wow, that puts him inside and outside. And it's just, the same gloves were found in his car, in his apartment. And, it's just the things that were at the scene, some of the things that were there were found in his car. That footprint, I think, is going to really come into play in this trial. I think so. And, her testimony. For what she was going through, I can't imagine the shock on her face, right? You got to remember, she probably didn't know what had happened upstairs had happened. And what had happened next to her had happened. Until that next morning. She maybe thought it was a party goer. Like, why are you stealing our vacuum or something? There's no telling. Or maybe she did know something was going on and her brain panicked and froze and freaked out. And she locked herself in that room. We don't know. We know that she had called for help, right? Like somebody to come over. Like, so she was scared of something. I don't think she realized. Nobody thinks that's happening in their home, right? Ever. So, a lot of people want to dog her. You can't dog her. This is a young teenage girl, a 20-year-old girl. Or what? We don't know what her little brain processed or how it processed it. We know that her stories were consistent. And that's what judges and DAs and prosecutors and police and investigators look for. That while it may have bounced around a little bit, it was consistent. She didn't come out here and tell any lies. She didn't come out here and say, yes, I identify that. No, she said, I don't know, right? I don't know. Like, I know it was bushy eyebrows. I know this was the build. I know he was white. Okay, those ski masks like I post on the thumbnails, you can pretty much see the bridge of the nose, the eyes, all around the eyes, the eyebrows. So clearly she could have seen all this. It wasn't some, COVID mask or a hospital mask. It was a ninja mask. And evidently he had more than one of them in his car, supposedly. But I'm going back to the suspect video of suspect. That is getting me because that is some kind of footage of him leaving that home or in that home. That's why I think it's either a TikTok or, she could have had her phone sitting up on her little nightstand, right, making a TikTok when this all went down. And the camera was running and he never saw it. We don't know what's going to be of it. And if that is the case and they do have him on camera, yeah, they'll never take a deal. The jury will await. And they know, I think. The defense knows, but we don't know because it's sealed. But we know that it somehow came out of the video of the suspect. So we know that it's out there, but we just don't know what it is or what footage it is. Or it sounds to me like it's some device inside that home, right? You know what else it could be that I thought about, which was brought to my attention? A webcam. Somebody could have had their computer open doing something and their webcam been on. And it was caught on webcam, right? We don't know yet. But we know that he's trying to play every card in the deck. And what is it going to come? I don't know, guys. I'm wondering about the shoe print. I'm wondering if that shoe matches 100% to the shoe found in his car or to one of his shoes, maybe that he had on. You know, explain putting the trash at 4 a.m., cleaning out his car, thoroughly scrubbing his car. Like, they have all this on camera, right? So there's no beating around the bush. Is it going to be over excessively cleaning? Is it going to be like cleaning up a crime scene, right? Is that what he's doing? And if that's the case, what I want to know was whatever was taken out of that car and thrown in the neighbor's trash at 4 a.m., what do they have? Because we're not thinking about that either, right? What do they have? What was in those Ziploc baggies out of that car? Was it strands of hair that may have belonged to one of the victims? Was it? We don't know. And that's why I'm saying there's so much out there that's been put out, but we don't know what that was found. I'm curious to what was put in that trash can. Not on the day he was arrested where it was the food and separating his trash from theirs. I want to know that 4 a.m. trash drop he made to the neighbor's trash can after thoroughly scrubbing and cleaning his car. What did he put in those bags from the car? What did he remove? Was it bloody paper towels, napkins? You know, whatever it was, they got it. And that could be very, 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 very good evidence. Especially if it's a strand of hair from one of these victims that would be in his car in the Poconos. Okay, how would that get there? Only one way. Because y'all know me, I've always thought he had that shower curtain on that seat and probably across that passenger seat. He probably cut out for his headrest, slid that clear shower liner over those seats. So when he threw that bag of clothes in there, threw those clothes on that passenger seat, nothing got anywhere. But somehow something got somewhere because he wouldn't have scrubbed that hard if it didn't. And we know as the Monta case, bleach doesn't remove it. It still will be shown with aluminol. And we don't know what all they found in that car. We know they took parts of that car off, brake pedals and things like that, steering wheel, seat belts. So what was on there? You know, a seatbelt would explain more to me because if you grab your seatbelt to put it on when you first get in out of habit, something could have been on that seatbelt strap. I still think more or less there was probably some hairs from the victims found in that car because they were probably entangled in his, because we know Xana fought back. So most likely he had hairs probably stuck to his coverall, stuck somewhere when he threw all that stuff in the car. Possibly a hair fell out or two, or a pet hair of Murphy's, something, right? I wonder if that's Murphy's hair. I mean, there's a lot of things. But remember, right now, these are just allegedly my opinions, my thoughts, my theories, my speculation, my free speech, not to reflect the channel. You know, y'all's comments, y'all's alone, not to reflect the channel. We do our research together because we are a big-hearted little family. And I really wanted to touch base about this because the more notes I take, the more I go back to the shoe print, the trash, for some reason. The vacuum, I don't know yet about that. I haven't had long enough to think about the vacuum, but and the video of the suspect. Those three things right now to me. The main important one I really want to know is the video of him, if there is one, which they're making it out to be that there is one. And the number two is what did he take out of his car when he detailed it like that and put in those Ziploc baggies and put in the neighbor's trash at 4 a.m. that they now have. She's worried about trash pulls. Remember that. Defense is worried about trash pulls. There's a reason she's worried about trash pulls. I think more or less it's going to end up being some kind of DNA evidence within that car that's going to point to one of those victims. That's what I feel. And if it wasn't in the car when they seized the car, they're not going to say it's in the car because it wasn't. Now, they're not saying it wasn't in the trash pool. Nowhere have I seen anything of them saying DNA or hairs or anything of the victims was found in that trash pool. They haven't debunked any of that. So something most likely he threw away for a purpose and wanted it gone and wanted it hidden because he put it in the neighbor's can. So he did not want anybody to find it. So what is it? All right, guys. Anyway, we're going to get out of here. Y'all see that wind is picking up bad. Looks like it's fixing to pour down rain. I have to run into town and do a few things, but y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We love y'all guys so much. Prayers for the Idaho 4. You know, Kaylee, Maddie, Xana, Ethan, justice, the chair awaits, okay? The truth. The chair awaits the truth. Is he guilty? Is he not? Is he the suspect? Is he not? Right? We know he's a suspect, but did he do this? Did he not? Everyone is innocent until proven guilty. What's the odds that everything is stacked against him? Right now, some of the things that we do know are very crucial. Of course, the DNA, touch DNA. What other DNA? Is anything on that glove? We know the handrail now doesn't matter because that was found on the first floor. That's not going to matter. Suppose there's a few things coming out that maybe one time someone was trying to move a broken bottle and then maybe nicked herself or something, and it was just innocent college kids drop a butt. I don't know for sure. I'm not saying that. That's why I'm not talking about it. But they have reasoning behind everything they did. And so we'll know because, like I said, I don't know if they're going to give him a deal. I'm starting to think now they might not give him one. Anyway, guys, y'all be good. Y'all be safe. We'll talk on the next one. All right, guys.